What's up, Panda dudes? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, I bought myself a watch that I was surfing around on Amazon. It's a shark watch. Shark! Sport watch. And I thought it looked kind of crazy, and I wanted to check it out on Amazon. Now, this wasn't the cheapest watch in the world. Wasn't the most expensive either, but at about $60, it was a little bit more of a, kind of a tougher to justify impulse purchase than some of my other watches. But that being said, even if I really love this watch, even as we kind of go through the tour here of what's included in the box, I'm going to give it away, so stay tuned. Looks like you get some decals, Shark, user guide. Enter for a chance to win when you get your sport watch. Anyway, so kind of nice packaging overall. And the reason I got it is it's kind of like skeletonized, and I thought, wow, that was kind of looking cool. So let's find out if it is. And like I said, we'll give it away, even if I fall in love with this bad boy. But yeah, just kind of look cool. Kind of look like one of those tendance watches, or I don't know, something bold and cool. Remote stopper. Oh, okay. And I'll put a link to it in the description if you're interested in it too. It's called the SH543 and comes obviously covered in lots of plastic, protection's important. Well, we're going to remove it here. And let's see if I can give you some stats as we're kind of going through it. 45 millimeter case, so it's pretty large. And with some of these watches that are pretty brash and bold, it doesn't really make sense to make them small and shrinking violet type of watches either. So 45 millimeters across, 12 millimeters thickness. The band length is 20 centimeters approximately, and let's see if we can tell you how wide it is. I'm not sure. Kind of looks like a 20 millimeter wide band, maybe more. It's called Crazy Horse Leather, which I'm not sure exactly what that means, except when you call something like that Crazy Horse Leather, and it says genuine leather, it smells like leather, man. So either they use like leather perfume on it, or it does smell like leather. But when you call it Crazy Horse Leather, I feel like it's made out of the hide of a crazy horse. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say cow leather. I mean, you can make leather out of human skin if you wanted to. I mean, I do. I don't recommend it for you, though. Clarice. Anyway, obviously it's 3 atmosphere water resistant, and it looks crazy. That's obviously why I picked it up. As you can see here, hello, you can see all the way through it. It is totally skeletonized. I mean, cool, kind of like a full grain leather brown band here, but what caught my eye is kind of this pretty unique case design. So let's get on it. It has like a matte, almost like a powder coated black finish on the case. It has this very much kind of bold coin edge to the bezel, non-rotating, but it's like a giant gear. From head on, that's where it looks very gear-like to me. It's actually a little bit reminiscent of the Noble watches that I've showed you in the past, which I really, really like. I like a lot of action and detail up here, right where you see it, because so many bezels are just so flat and shiny, and they almost make the dial and the face look really small. Now, what's also interesting here is that they've kind of stair-stepped. There's kind of another ring on the bezel too. I like that detail because, again, it's like, oh, we didn't just give up and make it, 4 millimeters, 3 millimeters wide. They've kind of put another ring around there. It gives more, more detail to it, right? Obviously, the key here is that there's a crystal on the front and the back, and presumably a small quartz time-only movement. I don't see a date or anything like that, and obviously you want to keep that movement small to fit in this housing, which is really this kind of inner chapter ring, which houses everything. And it's kind of cool. There's like 2 C's in it. It might be a little hard to see here, but you have kind of this 75% U ring that goes like that, and then there's another one that goes from like the 9 o'clock position down to the 5 o'clock position on the outside. So not entirely sure what that's about, but I'm assuming it has something to do with their kind of design language or corporate imagery. The Shark watch logo looks like it's applied also on a matte black, finish on the inside there. It seems to be kind of attached top and bottom, side and side. The bright red of the logo, kind of helps set off that chrome looking shark there, as well as the red second hand ticking there. I'm trying to see, I guess these are just polished silver hour and minute hands. Looks like they have a little bit of lume on the hands themselves. If not, and maybe or maybe not, but that's also just going to help brighten that up, and so you can see it, because with everything being blacked out, seeing it can be hard. And obviously this 9 and this 3 are kind of the big deal here, right? I mean, they're big, blocky, kind of like jersey numbers, and just stand out, kind of frame it and balance out the side to side, but then allows, when you're avoiding putting all those other numbers, you have this big window to it. This isn't totally unlike some of the Louis Vuitton watches, I think, where they have the crystal front and back, and then you can kind of see all the way through to the back. In some ways, I've always been a little bit afraid of those types of watches. Let's go ahead and throw this 45 millimeter stunner on the wrist here, only because I feel like, well, if I can see right through the watch to my skin, I feel like it's going to look a little weird. But I got to tell you, man, I think that kind of looks cool. And the way it kind of presses against your skin, it kind of doesn't allow a lot of light through there. So even though I can see my wrist through the watch, it gives a little bit different effect. I'm not looking at it, or glancing at it and saying, oh man, I can see all the way through it. But, when I'm looking at it at this angle, and it's probably going to be a little hard to kind of express this on the camera here, but especially when you're looking at an angle, it kind of looks, you can see so much of that 3-dimension, You can see how, flat crystal here, and I'm assuming maybe a mineral crystal, but you can see this kind of big, thick disc that houses the movement. You can see the numbers that float just a little bit above that disc. You've got kind of this, very detailed outer chapter ring. You kind of have some of these big blocky notches framing out the numbers, and then these kind of notches that stick out like little planks for each of the hours, and then there's a little bit of white highlighting on those. It kind of looks like the trench run on the Death Star, if you know what I mean, nerds. But that's pretty cool, and I just think you don't see something like this every day, and for $60, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. It seems like a fairly robust watch. The band is a little stiff, but it's not the worst band that's really thick that I've ever seen. It seems like it'd be easy to get it broken in, but I love the feel of like this velvety, soft, almost like suede-like texture on it. You've got a little bit of stitching right here. That's fairly color matched. But man, how cool is that, huh? I'm not saying it's the coolest watch ever made, but I'm saying it's a cool watch. Faux show. And what I would say about this is, I would be happy to put this on my wrist. Now, I didn't promise to give this away, so I'm going to just keep it. Peter from Panda out. Bye-bye. I'm just kidding. I did promise to give it away. And I'm not going to wait till the end of the year to give this bad boy away either. I want to give it to someone that can enjoy it, love it, use it. Shark Sport. Pretty nice buckle on the end, too. Not one of the kind of the rehashed cheap ones. Brushed black, anodized, it looks like. Anyway, let's give it away relatively quickly. Let's do it on Armed Forces Day, because I think this looks pretty military and tactical, right? Do you know when Armed Forces Day is? If you don't, it's May 20th, 2017. So like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then comment below. Any comment will get you entered. Put the country that you live in somewhere in the comment, because I'm only going to be able to afford to be able to ship this to people that live in the United States and Canada. So that's where I'm going to limit the winner to. But on May 20th, Armed Forces Day, I will pick one random commenter, verifying your comment you live in the US or Canada, and then get this bad boy out to you because I think you're going to like it because I actually really like it. Peter Von Panda with my Shark Sport Watch. Out.